All right, we installed this one a few years back. Now we got a moisture problem. Like humidity in the garage. Humidity on the door. Look at the humidity. Hello. How you doing?
Hi.
I haven't seen you in a while.
I know, Joe. What have you been up to?
Not much. Not much.
That's good.
You know, I mean, staying busy.
Yeah, well, then you're not in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. I see we got a moisture problem. When did this start?
We had a little bit of moisture on the windows last year. That's always been like this, that door.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Well, we'll figure it out.
But anyway, we went up. The moisture this year started after when it got cold.
When it got cold.
Yeah, we had a little, right now we shut it off yesterday, he did. And there's that teeny much.
Tiny ring around.
But, and it goes up the side of the window and stuff, but when it was really cold, that stuff was like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can show you what it is doing to the wall.
Oh, I know what it's doing. So what do we got anything down there, Mike?
You need me to move my car out?
We'll see. Hold on.
If you need a step ladder to get up, I have a step ladder.
Okay. I'm told, I was talking to Mike about this and I'm like, well, maybe we should look in the crawl space because,
Now, I tried to call the lady to find out if there was a sub pump down there. The neighbor next door said there was, and I said, but we're on dirt. Do they put sub pumps on dirt?
Let me get down. Oh, Mike. Oh. Let's see.
I mean, it's wet in some spots, but it's not flooded.
It's not flooded by any means. Got a little moisture, but is there, I don't know, is there a sump down here? Oh, what's over here? Nice little crawl space. Oh, okay, so the vents are open. I'm gonna have to get a humidity meter down here. Ductwork. Yeah, there's water there, but that's mainly, there's no sump down here.
There's our condensate drain for the furnace.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not really, I mean, we got some moisture down here, but like standing water there. I don't know where the standing water's coming from though. I mean, that condensate would just run in the dirt,
Yeah. It feels cold, real cold and wet right here.
It is really kind of moist. Where does that condensate run to? There's...
Right over here.
Dirt? Just runs in dirt?
Yeah.
Huh. Where's the moisture coming from, other than the condensate?
Attic didn't look.
Did you peek in the attic?
Yeah, it was up in there. I mean, I seen, I got watermarks on the metal venting for the hot water tank, but it wasn't like, I didn't have fresh water.
Wasn't dripping.
I don't know, it's very interesting. They got a large fan-powered humidifier right off the plumb. Humidistat's dialed down below 15%.
What was it set at before?
She didn't tell me what the last guy said was servicing.
Oh. This is
all that water was from the trap. The hose not hooked up, right?
Mm-hmm. But there was humidity on the door, though? Oh, is this all? Holy smokes.
Looked like it was raining in here when she lifted it. It's not as bad today, it seems. So, I don't know. I mean, I shut the humidifier right off, and it seems better today than it was yesterday, but it's still pretty wet. And then I had a little bit.
What is all this water?
And then I had a little bit right here. On the door. It's gone now. But up on the attic door, you can kind of see.
Yeah, but this area isn't like, there's no heat blowing in this area.
Just like I've got black on my concrete in here underneath the car, and all of a sudden all this stuff is happening, and there's nothing to do with that before.
Yikes. It's got slime.
She got a couple new windows, and this is...
No, I can feel it. It's super humid in here. But why? Why in the garage? I don't understand. I mean, it's got to be 60% humidity in here. Although I know when it warms up, like my concrete, see, something looks weird. Like it looks like my concrete in my garage, it'll sweat when it gets warm outside. So that's like 56, 53, 55. When you looked up there, how was the insulation?
It's all the blowing.
Above here? Above the garage?
Yeah. Blowing insulation. On the ground up there, but like the walls and the ceiling and stuff, and the things spray foamed or anything like
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get in that attic because how warm was it up there?
Pretty cool.
Pretty cold. Interesting. So we got the TOPDON TC004, and then they sent me out the TC003, which is, it's like a tablet.
Yeah, it's like a plastic.
Heavy duty stuff?
Yeah, it's got the plastic down there. I'm just very confused about the garage. Why there's so much moisture in the garage.
Those pieces actually like froze to each other this winter.
Yeah, I can believe it.
They came Monday and the guys from the garage company, Crawford, said they couldn't understand what was going on, and then Matt is supposed to be coming out here, the owner, but I haven't seen him.
Because there's no sump pump in the crawl space. There's no sump pump down there.
I didn't think they put sump pumps down there.
Yeah, they do, but I'm very confused about the garage because I don't have any source of heat out here. I don't think so.
There's no heat out there. That's a brand new door. We got that put in, I'm gonna say maybe June or so last year. And it was insulated. We paid a lot of money for that door to have it insulated and whatnot. So I don't know.
Yeah, I just want to get up in the attic and peek. I'm gonna walk around the house here. Some spotty insulation. It's 58 degrees along that baseboard. You can see the heat running the floor. .61 degrees across the baseboard. I think we got a lot of air infiltration here. .62, 67. .57 degrees. seeing a lot of, like around the perimeter, like all the baseboards are like 50 something degrees.
You're talking to one group of people, you use this language, you use sanctuary, you use legal.
It's a lot of spotty insulation.
You use welcoming.
I see 61 degrees, 57 degrees right there.
And sometimes people don't even know what you're talking about because you use two whole sets of different
54 degrees.
And everybody has to pick a side, and that's not where it is because there's no public discussion about it to bring everybody together.
And it just, there's no end in sight, Karen.
It doesn't seem so.
Well, you're a thoughtful woman and a fellow Coloradan. It's good to have you on the show. Thanks for coming on.
I think we just got a lot of air leakage. Oh yeah.
What we have learned now about this case.
Looks freezing right there.
I mean, right at the corner of the window, it's like 50 degrees. Boy, oh boy.
You can stay ahead of your eczema. It helps block a key source of inflammation inside the body that can cause eczema to help heal your skin from within. Many adults saw 90% clearer skin. Some even achieve long-lasting clear skin and faster relief after the first dose. Serious allergic reactions can occur. They can be severe. Tell your doctor you or
Let's get up to the attic and see. I think I got a lot of air infiltration. I do have baffles. Oh, it's soaking wet up here. All this insulation is soaking. Here, turn that light off for a second.
I thought it looked wet, but I was a little unsure.
That's damp. Oh yeah, it's soaking wet up. All of it is soaking wet. This is a ventilation problem. They put a ridge vent in. Look at this. It's wet. Where's the exhaust fan for the bathroom?
I think it's all the way over there.
Does it vent out the roof?
I didn't crawl all the way back to that vent.
There's not enough ventilation in the attic. That's one thing. I see baffles for the soffits. We're dripping there. So, here, turn the light. You got your light on, Mike?
I have it off.
Where'd you say that? Bathroom vent is? I don't see it going anywhere. I don't even see a bathroom vent.
I think that's the bathroom vent. It's the...
That PVC?
Yeah. I don't know.
No, that's stink pipe. All right, so now we know what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with, we got to figure out the bath fans, if they have any, and we don't have enough roof ventilation.
Why would it do this all of a sudden? Or
it's not all of a sudden. Hold on, here, go down. We're not dealing with the furnace or anything of that sort. Nothing with the crawl space. It's all up here.
it's been an ongoing problem, and then the
Yeah, it's just something triggered. It's always been here. Well, it hasn't always been here, but
it's just worse now.
something. They did something in the house to trigger it further. Okay. Is there where's the restroom? Where's the
Right here. There's a bathroom here, and then there's one in the other bedroom.
So I got a fan there. I got a fan there. Okay, so did you guys have the roof done?
We haven't, but
How long you been here? Like 4 or 5 years?
it'll be going on 5 in August. I know at one time they had that storm that came through here, and a lot of the people here lost shingles and stuff off their roof. They put a brand new roof on. I think, only because of my dealings with the people who owned the house before us.
Right.
I think they got the money for the roof, but they patched it.
Okay, so this is what I see what's going on. We have all the moisture in the attic. All the insulation up there is wet.
Okay.
So that is not. We gotta figure out where these exhaust fans go, for one thing, because I've seen it to where they just vent the exhaust fans in the attic and pray for the best, but that was way back in the day, probably when the house was built. And it's a probability it's like that, where it's just exhausting in the attic. But usually what you'll see is, say if it exhausts in the attic, you'll see condensation coming down from the fan sometimes. But what I see up there is a roof ventilation problem. It's like I'm not... originally what they had to have a roof put on this.
Yeah.
Because I can see the holes for the original vents in the roof.
Okay.
They patched them up with metal, and then they put a ridge vent on. And apparently it's not doing what it should. It's not, we don't have the proper circulation in there, and it's holding the moisture from somewhere. It's getting moisture, and it's probably maybe from a bath fan or the 2 bath fans.
Okay.
And so when I say I put that moisture in from the bath fan, and I'm not getting proper circulation in the attic, that moisture just stays up there. All the insulation is just soaked from front to back.
You're kidding.
No. I don't see any mold. It hasn't got that far, but we got to figure out what's going on with the bath fans.
Okay, and if I have to do not if I have to, I will do the bath fans.
Well, let me get into it farther. This is what I'm seeing so far.
Okay.
But let me walk outside, look at the roof, and see what's going on. Because it looks like, there's blown in insulation, and then they have baffles for the soffits coming up, which is standard practice, which is normal, but that ridge vent, I don't think, is doing what it should.
Okay.
Well, let me go out there and look at a few things on the roof.
Okay. Be careful.
That's why it's wet in the garage.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought that looked normal.
Yeah, see, they got ridge vent there. There's not enough ventilation, so they got that ridge vent across the garage. I hate ridge vent. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. Look. Where's that coming from? Oh, that's the bath fan. See the moisture down here? I bet you they vented it out the soffit.
Holy crap.
Yeah, they don't have enough ventilation in the roof. They got that little one up there. Yeah, there's not enough ventilation in this roof at all. And I don't know if it's if those soffit vents are open, you know, I mean, yeah, that's,
It almost looks like cat food a long time
yeah.
down the side. Or moisture.
Because I don't really, who's that other bath fan? It should be right. Oh, let me grab some gloves. All right, so I turn that fan on. That fan should be right here. Hear it?
I can. Faintly.
It's right. There's a stink pipe.
That'd be right over here.
So the bath fans aren't vented. I can hear it.
It's like directly in front of us, like 15 feet away.
All right, so there's one source of the problem is these bath fans aren't vented. I'm assuming they tried to vent that one and it's out the soffit. See, I thought we could pick it up with this, but apparently it's got a, oh, it should be right here.
I'll crawl back there and find it.
If you want to crawl back there and find it, yeah.
I mean, we need to, right?
Yeah, just be careful.
I don't want to go through a ceiling.
No, especially it's probably
A little wet.
a little wet. It's got to be. There's that room. It's got to be over here, Mike. It's right there. It's got to be right there. See where that
Sounds like it's over there.
dig in that dry spot right there. Right in front of you.
Here?
Yeah. No?
Uh-oh.
Let me go downstairs and kind of figure out. I thought it was right behind. I swear it's right there. Let me go see where it is conjunction to the furnace. That's crazy. Oh, unless I'm hearing it.
Here it is.
Okay, so where's that pipe run? Mike's back there getting all dirty. I bet you it runs out the soffit. It runs in that soffit space over there. I can see the dampness.
Yeah, it looks like up.
Okay. So, get out of there. See, we got no. So we got light down there. So the soffits are open. Some of these, that's soaking wet, soaking wet, soaking wet. All this is soaked. Gonna make it?
Oh yeah. Wow.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I've got to go because I've got to talk to these guys. Okay, okay, bye. She said that the whole roof was done, and they
Right.
don't think they stripped it.
Right. So here's what I'm seeing is that there's not enough ventilation in the roof. So it looks like there may be enough soffit vents, but that ridge vent up top is not doing what it should. Okay, so, and it looks like these bath fans, especially that one back there, they took them out and they ran them out the soffit.
Okay, she said that one,
So this one back here,
she said one of the things was a real long run on the exhaust going out the
this
roof.
one back here, they vented it out the soffit, and I can see the moisture down the side of the house.
Oh.
So what needs to happen is we need, I think they just stubbed it in there. It actually has to tie into the soffit and actually has to exhaust out. But what you're going to need to do is another thing I noticed is that I'm walking around the outside perimeter and that baseboard's like 58, 60 degrees. Okay, so down in the crawl space, that, what do we call it? The sill plate needs to be insulated. That's one thing that's got to be done. The next thing is you got to have a roofing insulation contractor come out and assess what's going on upstairs in the roof because there's not enough ventilation up there.
Okay.
Because it's just trapping moisture.
Okay.
I mean, all that insulation is soaking wet up there.
Yeah.
So we got to get some kind of ventilation up there.
Who do you recommend?
Roofing wise, I don't have anyone off the top of my head.
She said Mike Hayes that's what
Mike
I called
Hayes,
her.
yeah.
That's who put the roof on.
Yeah, you might want to give him a call, see if he can come out, assess what's going on. You might want to get an installation contractor involved too. I'm just heating and cooling guy, you know.
Yeah, I hear you, and I'm a not even of that.
So when it comes to the heating and cooling system, we're fine. Everything's fine. And we're not getting the moisture from the humidifier because basically it's off. Because the kind of one thing that threw me off is that garage being so wet.
Well, see, that's what I can't figure out. Why would the other door didn't do that? Why would this door do that?
Well, so you got more insulation, and it's sealing up that area. So say if I had a lot more air infiltration in there and it's colder outside, you wouldn't see that. Now you put a nice insulated door on there that
We had an
seals.
insulated door before.
Well, this one's sealing up. It's sealing up tight, and now it's holding everything in.
Okay.
So it seems like it's staying warmer in the garage now, probably, since you got the new garage door.
It's about, and when we even had that real cold weather, when we got in the car said 49, 50.
Yeah, so the door is doing everything it can. It's doing a good job, but it's sealing all that moisture in. That's why we're seeing all that moisture in the garage. That's what kind of threw me off. I'm like, where's this moisture coming from? You know, because I talked to Mike and I'm like, well, it's probably, moisture in the crawl space. Well, we ruled that out. And then the next spot is the attic. So we got moisture in the attic. I can't get it out. It's just going to stay up there.
Okay. So I got to get a roofer and an insulation guy.
Yeah. Sometimes, sometimes it's not a heating and cooling problem. It's a house problem.
You're right. Now, that Mortimer.
We get called out on everything. And I understand where the customer's coming from. Hey, my humidifier thinks it's a humidifier. That's what's producing moisture. That's logical. But when you really dive into it and you start looking at the house, you really have to really got to look in different spots of the house and figure out where the moisture's coming from. This year, up here in Michigan, we've had a really, it's been really, really wet. And some of the houses I'm running into, just the crawl space is just saturated. The soil and everything is saturated underneath the visqueen, or it doesn't have any visqueen at all. And sometimes we'll get moisture there. Bath fans, another thing to look at. Back in the day when these people were putting these houses in, that house was put in 96, they used corrugated 4-inch pipe, builder's grade 50 CFM fans, and the pipe's been crushed and deteriorated, and who knows. We are giving her a quote for new bath fans, upgraded bath fans, and we're going to run it right out the soffit. I don't want to penetrate the roof because, it's another hole in the roof that could leak. So I'm not a roofer, so I'd rather stick it out the soffit. I got room there, I can do it. But when it comes to moisture issues, you really got to start searching around and figure out what the heck is going on, because our furnace is running fine, it's heating the house fine, humidifier's off, and you're still getting moisture. It's got to come from somewhere. And what really threw me off was the garage, the amount of moisture in the garage. And she had that garage door replaced a few months ago. So then what happened is the old garage door was leaky. They didn't have let's say the garage was colder, and they didn't really see the problem. But then they put this nice insulated, sealed up garage door on there, and now it stays warmer. She said when it was extremely cold outside, it's 0 degrees, the garage was still, or she would get in the car and the car would read, hey, it's 40 degrees, So that garage door did seal up the garage. So, but when we got in the attic, all that insulation, that bone-in insulation, was wet on the top, maybe that far down. And I don't think that came from the bath fans. Some of it probably did. And you can see on the outside of the house where there's been condensation and moisture running down the siding, right where the bath fans vent out the soffit. So they just took the ductwork and they shoved it right in the soffit, not tying it into the soffit. So it's blowing in that area and it's coming right back in because of natural draft. 6135. Trying to look for address too. So that's part of the problem. So we're going to get that taken care of. But the other problem is the ventilation. Ventilation in the...
Arriving at 6135 Smith Street Road on the left.
Over here. Yep. So the ventilation in that roof is not there. There's not enough, let's say, ridge vent there to get that moisture out. There's just not enough there. And so they need to address that. I told her you need to address the ventilation in the roof area. They also need to address the sill plate in the crawl space, because at the baseboards it's like 50 something degrees, so there's air infiltration there. In cold air and warm air, you're gonna get moisture. There's no way around it. And you know, certain parts of the house, she says, are worse than others with the windows condensating, so there's going to be air infiltration, more air infiltration in that baseboard or right underneath the window. So you really got to start kind of looking, other than the humidifier, if you got humidity problems. So kind of took you along for this one. No, didn't really fix anything. We're just dealing with a house problem. We're not dealing with any heating and cooling problem. We're just dealing with a house problem. And so that's it for this one. Took you along for the ride. And you guys know what you need to do. Hit up the GoFundMe, the Zelle, the Venmo, the Amazon wish list for my son that's gone through cancer. And we'll see you on the next one.